everybody, how is it going? I'm Lucas and welcome to another episode of Amps in the Axe-Fx 3. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Cameron Atomica, also known in the Axe-Fx as the Atomica High and the Atomica Low. What you just heard was from the Atomica High. So let's talk a little bit about this amp, and also make sure you smash subscribe because we are going to be going through all of the amps in the Axe-Fx 3. So the cool thing about Cameron Atomica is supposedly, I don't know if this is what I'm about to say is true or not, but if you do know it's true, let me know in the comments down below. This amp was built to reproduce the legendary Brown Sound Super Lead that Eddie Van Halen had. That was modded by Jose Ardindo, and supposedly Mike Cameron, the guy who built this amp, got his hands on it right before it disappeared, and he was able to kind of get a good peek at it, and this is what this amp was built to replicate. This amp it's really good and it's really cool. It's one of my favorite ones in the Axe-Fx 3, but the thing about it is it turned into a whole financial mess. So it seems that Cameron Amplification had the same fate as Dar Amps, as Bernie Rico Jr., as so many like little small companies that this sometimes happen, which I hate when this happens because a lot of good people lose a lot of money. It seems that they took on too many orders too fast. I don't exactly know the whole story behind Cameron, so if you know, definitely let me know in the comments down below. And it seems that it turned into a mess. People lost money, but I mean the amp, it sounds really good and it is really cool, but you know, it sucks when stuff like that happens. It uses 100 watts. It uses EL34 tubes like a Plexi, like a Marshall does. And from what I read, Cliff has said that this is basically a JCM 800, but it has that Jose mod on it, which it allows it to take a lot of master volume since it has that mod on it. And the distortion on this amp it's created more by the preamp tubes as opposed to power amp tubes, kind of, and a lot of Plexis rely on power amp distortion as opposed to the preamp distortion. So I mean, you can turn up the master volume a lot and it'll kind of help shape your tone. And this head is pretty much like the ultimate Van Halen head. I'm not going to play any Van Halen because I'm in drop C and I would not do it any justice at all. So let's go over some of the settings that I have. So the input drive, I find it actually comes alive a lot more once you get past 5. So for example, this is what it sounds like when you're on 6. Really like it once you turn it up. I mean, the more you go up, I mean, let's watch if we crank it all up. Oops, sorry. It gets kind of bassy. I kind of like it right around there. The bass on here is very interesting because if you mess with the depth knob, it gets out of hand really fast. It's kind of, you know, like how, you know how like Plexis tend to be kind of bassy. I find it kind of retains that since it's kind of built on that platform. I'll show you what I'm talking about with the bass. So this is when it's at 5. I mean, it doesn't sound half bad once you crank it up with the bass side, but this is what I was talking about, because if you mess with the depth knob, watch how fast this can get out of control. See, it gets out of control very fast, so just be careful whenever you mess with the depth knob. You can actually crank the master volume on here. I just chose to leave it at 3 because in a lot of my high gain amps, I like to keep the volume low and I'll just adjust it with the level. Have the bright switch on, do not mess with anything in the ideal section. This is a preamp section. Let's see what this thing sounds like with a drive. This is going to be the C808 mod. Makes it a lot brighter and it kind of cuts all the low end out of it. These days I run a lot of my amps without a drive in it, to tell you the truth, when I'm building patches. I did not touch anything in the speaker drive. For the speaker, it's using the 412 Brit greenback for the speaker impulse curve, which I think is pretty accurate, considering it is a Marshall-based amp. Speakers, I did not touch anything. I take that back. Not in the input EQ, but I did touch a little bit in the output EQ. I put a little bit of bass in, just a tad, a little bit to get it nice and sweet. I could probably take that out and just with the knob, to tell you the truth. I cut some of the mids, because Marshall amps tend to carry a lot of mids. I'll let you hear what it sounds like with and without the EQ. Does have a little bit of a scoop sound with it, with the EQ on. I could probably put a little bit of mids back in, but hey, I mean, that's all up to taste. And it didn't sound too terrible without the EQ, but I like to get my patches nice and sweet. So that's really about it for the Atomica high, for the high setting. Let's check out the Atomica low. I actually tweaked this patch a little bit. The low setting is very interesting. Okay, so this is going to be on my bridge pickup. By the way, I'm using my Black Cat headless guitar with Tosin Fishman pickups in it. So this is going to be on the low setting. As you can see, I have the master volume cranked a lot because the low is interesting. I don't say it's useless, but it's very interesting. It's has a lot of the gain cut out of it. As you can see, you have the input drive practically almost all the way up. That's on my bridge pickup, by the way. Everything I'm playing on the bridge pickup. I mean, if you jack the input knob up, it kind of still has that like low gain sound on it. I mean, you can kind of get that low gain like Marshall type of sound, but there are plenty of other amps in here that do low gain a lot better than the low on the Atomica. I didn't really touch. Do I have the same? I don't even know if I EQ'd this. Let's see. Did I EQ it? Yeah. I'll put kind of the same EQ curve. Let's see what it sounds like without it. It even has more mids than the high. I'm gonna play you some stuff on my this will be the single coil mode on the Tosins. I mean, it's okay. The low is just, I don't know. It's very interesting. Let me know if you use this, because everything that I've read, they just saying that they haven't really found a use for it when it comes to the low setting. Let's go back to the high setting real quick. Let me kind of let you hear some open chords, and let me let you hear what it sounds like when we do a little lead sound. So this is going to be on my neck pickup. It sounds pretty good, honestly. I like it when it comes to like a lead sound and a neck pickup, and that's what it was with a neck pickup. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's gonna wrap things up for the Atomica High. If you're looking for a like high gain beast that kind of, you know, it's in that same vein of like the Friedman type of like, you know, high gain Marshall sound, this amp is really good. It's really, really cool, and it really surprised me about how good it is. So, let me know, do you use the Atomica? Do you have it in some of your patches? Know any cool tips and tricks? Let me know in the comments down below. But as for me, I'm going to have to be out. Peace.